Oh, sorry, I forgot to start recording. Now it in R, I just gave a big thing. So we will deal with this type of data. We will explain them one by one. And we just discussed that we have these topics to cover today, maybe 30-40 minutes. So A is a column vector. For example, if I open my R session and open a new R script file, I say A is C, comma 5, comma 4.3, comma 6, comma 8, like this. And control enter. Yeah, don't worry about this message. This is about my graphics issues. And then we define a B vector, which is column A Abdul Rahman. These, for example, and, and these are names of the students in the chat window. So these are the names. So see, this quotation might be different from the one in this one. For example, if I copy this, maybe, yeah, it's working. So I'm not 100% sure. So sometimes I had to face this problem because when I download some data, I have to retype this double quotation. You can use single quotation as well, for example, 0. It will work as well. So single quotation or double quotation, they are fine. And true and false, for example, if I say A less than 5, what is A? A contains 1, 2.5, 4.3, 8.2 contain this. A less than 5. See, first value less than 5 years, second value less than 5 years, third value 5 years, fourth value not less than 5, fifth value not less than 5. So this is a logical vector for A, and I can say this is stored in C. So a logical vector C, here you can see it is saying C is a logic. First three values satisfying the condition, and the fourth and fifth value are not satisfying the. So next is, yeah, for example, I just want to have a look only on few values of a column of a vector. I went back. I have vector A. What is the length of vector A? If I type, length of vector A is 5. That means there are 5 observations in vector A. Now I just want to access values 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2.5. Oh, 2 and 4. Yeah, not 2. If I put colon, then it is 2, 3, 4. Second observation, third observation, fourth observation. But if I put comma, that means I just want two observations. 2, 4, suppose 5 as well. So it is showing me second, fourth, and fifth observation. But if I want to see the seventh observation or sixth observation, see, not available, because the length of A was 5, and we don't have 6 elements in the array. In the vector, I will not use array, word array, because it is from data structure, and therefore we can
Sir?
access.
Sir, what is the index number of first value in R?
1.
1. Okay.
In Python and MATLAB index, yeah, in Python it is 0, in MATLAB it is 1, in R it is. So this is the difference. In Python, if you type this, it shows you, I think, 4, because that is starting from 0. And in Python, it makes confusion as well, because when it is from 0 and most of the other languages starting from 1, so you when using Python data. Okay. All columns. Now we talk about matrix. All columns in a matrix must have the same mode: numeric, character, etc. So this is a limitation, that if you are defining a matrix, all the values should have same data type. Either they are numeric can be integers, numeric can be real numbers, but they must be the same. General formula, I define this. You can say my matrix is defined as matrix contains vector, number of rows is R, number of columns is C, and how you want to call the values. You want to call the values like row wise, like row 1 values, second row value, third row value, or you want to call it by first column value, second column, or 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, so, or you want to call it 1 comma 1, 2 comma 1, 3 comma 1. So dimension names provides. So I am not regularly using matrix. If I say, then it is showing me what is the data, how many rows, how many columns. Suppose I say net 1 and row equals 2 and column equals object met not found. Yes, this is an example. Yes, okay. So we have to have some data, then we can find it. For example, 1 column and 2 the 6, 12. So I said I have observations 1 to 12. I need a matrix which have 2 rows and 3 columns. So you see, it is creating column wise. First column 1, 2, second column 3, 4, third column 5. If I say row wise, what is the command? I can by row. By equal to. So it will write 1, 2, 3, and second line 4, 5, 6. Now see, it is by row is equal to 2, true. It is showing 1, 2, 3, and second line is 4, 5. And if I say false, then it is column wise 1, 2. So by default, it is column wise. But if you want to do wise, you have to define it. So when you will be, if you want to calculate in R, then you need matrices more often as comparative to statistical analysis. Yesterday, I was doing some COVID-related research forecasting models, and the model said you must have metrics of auxiliary variables, exogenous. So then I had to do. Otherwise, we don't use metrics. Okay. So even then, if you want to increase 4, you see 12 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 to that. Oh, yeah, see, If I want 12 numbers, then I need 12. 4 times 3 is 12. Now I can accommodate all the observations. Otherwise, not all of them were accommodated here. So see, if I have 12 observations, I need 12 cells. 12 number of rows times number of columns should be 12. Now you see all the observations are accommodated in the matrix. Okay. Another example, we have suppose a column vector C, which is showing 1, 26, 24, 68, and suppose row names are R1, R2, column names are C1, C2. So my matrix, suppose the data is stored in cells, n rows is 2, column names, number of columns is 2, by row is true, dimension names. So this is the new thing that we have, dimension names. It is list. I just copy this and paste here. So dimension names. So n rows and row names. So R names is equal to, because I have 3 rows, I say R1, R2, R3. Like other programming languages, in R you can have same thing, same job done by different. This is the simplest one because I'm from the scripting side. C1, C2, C3, and suppose the last one is C4. Now I say, suppose I want to call the names as well. So we have row names, column names, and we have this matrix. So row names is a vector, column names is a vector. Then we created the matrix, and you see row names are here, column names are here. If I suppose this is showing student names, student 1, student 2, student 3, or maybe city 1, city 2, city 3, and city 1, city 2, city 3, and this is suppose poverty level in city 4, this is poverty level this city, and this is poverty level in 1 city. Okay, so you see, for example, some cities, some of the Pakistan cities are rich, some of the cities are very poor. So we can see, we can make a matrix, and then we can do some actions from this data. In UK, there is a full department. We also have in Pakistan a department that is called Federal Bureau of Statistics and Provincial Bureau of Statistics. They do collect this data. In UK, it was ONS, Office of National Statistics, and they have like gigabytes and terabytes of information about everything. So I also gave exam to pass ONS. I'm a licensed data scientist for ONS. So these are like something practical side where if some management want to understand poverty levels, they can do. Okay, next. So we can say poverty levels can be like, if I say here, I say PL is, and then we define C, and C is like 0.10% poverty, 0.15%, 0.30%, or 0.5 unemployment rate included, and 0.3%, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because I need 12 values, I made them copy paste. PL, and the PL, I have 10 observations. Sorry, I need 12 observations. Suppose we have very rich cities, where unemployment poverty is very low. Just for example, don't make, and and I use it PL. And you see, we have a matrix representing poverty levels and city wise, city 1 to 1. So this is a way to play with matrix. And then identify row column. For example, it is saying what is written, what is the name of the matrix. So this matrix is city dot poverty level. City dot poverty level. I just want to look at column number 4. So this will be the notation. City poverty level, fourth observation, fourth column. So you see the fourth column is 0.3, 0.5, 0.2. So it gave me this. If I want to see 3 and 4, then we have third column and fourth column. If I want to see row number 1 only for the third and fourth column. So this is the observation for third and fourth column for the first city. And if I say 1, 3, so you can access the sub elements, the elements inside a matrix using these small commands. Like square brackets are used to access individual elements. So different programming languages might have different syntax. Some will be using a square bracket, some will be using parentheses. Okay, any question in it? Hope so. It is easy thing to understand. Okay, array. Array are similar to matrix, but can have more than 2 dimensions. We are not going to more than 2 dimensions, but in real life, you know cubics, cubic. So cubic means you have rows, columns, and elements inside each cell of the row column. So we can have 3-dimension array, 4-dimension array, higher dimension array. So it is not discussing because array is more about detailed data analysis. At the moment you look, maybe you have observed that in lesson 1 to 3, we are just talking about single variable. We are talking about X, like average number of occurrences or average time between 2 occurrences or X successes in n trials. We are just focusing only one variable. This is called univariate analysis. When we go for matrices and array matrices, only matrices, that becomes 2-dimension analysis. For example, X is a city name and Y is the poverty level. Then in the 3-dimension analysis, it can be X is the city name, Y is the district name, and Z is the unemployment, for example, unemployment ratio in each district. So this is called 3-dimension. So when it becomes 3-dimension, we call it arrays. So array is a concept that you will be studying in ICS or data structure. Data frame is the fourth one. A data frame is more general than a matrix. In that different columns can have different modes, numeric, character, factor, but we avoid it. We don't try to use a data frame with this way, but sometimes we have to. Yeah, we have to. For example, D is a column vector, is a vector which have 4 observations. And then E have 4 observations, but they are string or character. Then F is a logical column vector or logical vector, true, 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 false. We define data frame with this command. Data frame DEF. What will happen? For example, if I copy, oops, I will not have to. So we have T. If I copy, look, NA is not in parentheses. If I put it in parentheses, it becomes NA like a color name. But if you keep it like this, NA means not available or not applicable. And then I copy the F I see true, 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 false. Then finally, if I take this, now we define a data set, my data or my data frame, DEF. Then we have this. So first column shows the row number. It is not part of data frame. D is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. E is equal to red, white, red thing. F is equal to false. So this is a way to define a database, data frame when you already contains the column. What columns to include in the data frame. Next thing is the last names. What is this names? My data. Provide column names. If you look at this, the column names are D, E, F. If I type it here, it shows me the column names are D, F. The other way is call names. If I type this, call names and data, my data, it also shows me D, E, F. And other thing is row names, my data. It shows 1, 2, 3, 4 because there is no particular name for the rows. So we can define, column names, my data is equal to C. First column is sequence number. Second column is color. Third column is past. Yes, some past field. So you see, I changed the column names of my data to new names. Now I have sequence, color, and past field. For example, it may be a color, cloth color, or some leather color. So this is simple way of working with data frames. The same way, you can access individual elements of a data frame. My data. Yeah, it will not work because I need comma here. So this blank space means I want all rows, but column number 3, 4, 5. I don't have column number 3, 4, 5. So I have column 3. So it is showing me only column 3. Or if I say row number 1 and 2 and column number 3, it is showing me row number 1 and 2. Let's see. So it is showing row number 1 and 2. And if I say row number 1 and 2 for column 3, it is showing true. True. This is the way if you want to access sub elements of a data frame. So these are only how to play with data, how to handle data. Next thing is my data $sign. For example, I want to access the third column. Enter. This is $sign. It shows me how to access individual columns using $sign. This is another thing to understand. You can access with this way, or you can access this way. Access the single column. I can store them fast. Separated pass. Okay. I saved it as a new variable. And now, oh. Oh. So we have this way list. Yeah, more things. The problem with are when you want to see type of, you should if I type my data, type of my data. It is showing me it is a list. Why? Because in my data there is numeric data and there is logical data, there is numeric data and string data or character data. But if I make only a matrix that contains that contains only numbers, then it will show me as double. So double is a type which shows numeric, and a list is a type which can have numeric and categorical or string, whatever. Anything can be part of list. So that's so an ordered collection of objects. A list allows you to gather a variety of possibly unrelated objects under one name. For example, a student name, a student father name, capital of the west, capital of a city, or capital of a country, and so on. So they are maybe related or non-related objects. For example, W is a list which have name is equal to Fred, number is equal to A, my matrix is equal to Y, age is equal to 3. The good thing is with list is that you do not require all the columns to be of equal length. In data frame and in matrices, it is essential that your number of rows and number of rows in each column are equal. But in a list, it is not a requirement. This is a good thing, but I will show you when we will doing the regression analysis, 6 or 7 session. How to access a list item? It is the way that if you want to access a list item, list individual items, you have to use double parenthesis, double square bracket. You remember in the case of a matrix, we just require single square bracket, but in the case of a list, we require 2 square brackets. This is the main difference on accessing a list item comparative to this one. So factor. Yeah, okay. Factor. We have my data. My data has second and third column which are categorical or character. What I can do is my data. I create a new f dot fast. F means factor fast. Factor fast is equal to s dot factor. So s dot factor is a command that converts a character vector into numeric categories. For example, here I'm showing my data and fast. If I run it and if I copy, okay, yeah. So it is now a factor variable which have 2 levels, false and true. Yeah, it is just factorizing. Factor means now you say that this is a type, this variable has a type factor. Now, what is additional I can do here is s dot numeric. That means I convert the factor false and true into numbers. When I do this, now you see true equals to 2 and false equals to 1. So this is a way that we can convert a character vector into numbers, into categories, numeric categories, by using a single line this way. So we have my data, a new variable, a new column factor passed, which have values 2 for true and 1 for false. There are other packages and other ways as well to define this thing. And if I see my data, now I have 4 columns, passed and factor passed. And similarly, if I replicate it, factor color as numeric, here I say color, factor color numeric. So this line is doing factorization of the variable character vector, and this command is converting it to numeric numbers, numeric category. See, red color is 1, white color is 2. So this is a way where we can convert into. Then we can remove the actual column. So I create a new data frame and I say I don't need third column, second column. And suppose I'm just showing you in a single by single, and then I see this. So second column, which was color, is gone. And then I say I again don't want the second column, which is passed. Then I see the so